Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer signaled Wednesday that the chamber will not quickly vote on a pair of House-passed background check bills, giving Democrats and Republicans time to negotiate possible but improbable bipartisan deals to address the separate, they talk about the mass shooting, which again is horrible, but the fact that we're only focusing on guns is going to lead nowhere. Chuck Schumer says my Republican colleagues don't want to work with us now. So he's not going to bring a bill quickly to the floor. And realistically, let's see, he's going to punt until after the Memorial Day congressional recess. What that means is the heat will die down and he probably won't bring the bill to the floor at all. He said yesterday, we will vote on this, but they say that time and time again. The reason Chuck Schumer, Democrat, Senate, isn't going to bring this to the floor is because he knows that he doesn't even have the Democrat votes to get this stuff through. He's blaming it on the Republicans and their lack of wanting to work on the problem together, but he knows that Democrats themselves won't vote on it. And how bad is that going to look for him and his party going forward? Schumer's move to likely punt until after the Memorial Day congressional recess, however, says he will take steps, in the opinion, to bring in the future quick background checks in a bill to the Senate floor. But he's complaining that Democrats lack the Republican votes needed to defeat the GOP filibuster. In terms of a debate, I would be willing to bet, from a political standpoint, and this is as cynical as it gets, I would be willing to bet if Chuck Schumer, and he knows this, if he were to put that bill on the floor, it's got to get through the filibuster, so they need 10 Republicans to vote for it. I would imagine 10 Republicans, cynical Republican politicians, would vote for that bill to go to the floor of the Senate so that they could get the couple Democrats like Joe Manchin, like Kyrsten Sinema, probably, to vote against it. That's the cynical political consultant in me, but that's how it's going to work. Chuck Schumer knows that if he brings that thing to the floor, he's going to get Democrats voting against it, and it's not going to pass, and now he's in trouble because he can't whip his own vote. So there's that. When people talk about bills and legislations, remember, gun control is a much more nuanced and specific rule. You can't just pass common sense gun control and say, okay, cool, well, that's done now. No, it needs to be very, very specific. And again, I don't even like talking about this because I think the gun problem might be 15%, maybe 20% of the actual problem. The refusal to talk about anything else isn't going to lead us anywhere good. And believe me, I wholeheartedly believe that I'm saying that in good faith. I would like to talk about all of the other factors involved in the psychosis of mass shooters and what goes through their head and all of that sort of stuff. And if we can talk about that, I'm willing to talk about gun stuff. I don't know where I'd fall on it, but I'd be willing to have the conversation. I think a lot of Americans would. But again, we are missing a massive component by strictly sticking to guns.